Hello, this is Winter of the Mythweavers. I'm adding a voiceover now to something I recorded earlier and my mic didn't work for whatever reason. This is a run through of the anti-vampire test dungeon. There's a background to this, which is in Head Start 2 it was identified that characters using auto attacks could reach the point where those auto attacks were far more powerful and devastating than cooldown based abilities while not having essentially a cooldown. This is particularly relevant for fighters and rangers, who can get up to 4 basic attacks with abilities, and then fighters have Action Surge and rangers have Swift Quiver, which gives them extra attacks. It's less relevant for rogues, who only get 1 attack, and of course paladins get 3 attacks, but don't really have a dex-based synergy like rogues and rangers do, because paladins can't dual wield. Clerics, wizards, yeah, the less said about them the better at the moment, I'm afraid. See if I can get that full screen. So, I built this character to go through this module. Now, I do believe that 100% vampiric weapons and Vorpal weapons are overpowered on auto-attack characters. I believe this quite strongly. The first character I levelled was a wizard, the second was a paladin. And I've actually levelled every class up to 20, put up videos of it, and so on. So this character is a fighter I levelled specifically for this. I chose fighter, not ranger, for a number of reasons, which I'll go through first. But I want to say a few things about this particular level. So this level was created by someone who doesn't want nerfs, and they've demonstrated this, they think, by creating a module which cannot be soloed by an optimal character, or cannot easily be soloed. Now, easily is true, but I want to talk about several things. Firstly, this dungeon is full of monsters with charm. Charm is a really bad spell when you're soloing, because it'll charm you, you go friendly to the monsters, and then you're essentially safe while you're for a minute, which is usually enough time for all your cooldowns to come back and for you to heal to full. However, it does take a minute, so you're in this weird position where you are safe, but everything takes longer. If you're in a party, that's fine. The cleric can maybe do greater restoration. So you see here what I've done, because I don't have Vorpal healing weapons, I have Vorpal weapons or healing weapons, not both at the same time, is I've lured some stuff out of the door and I'm trying to kill it with Vorpal weapons. Unfortunately, despite having a really high crit range, I'm not getting any luck here. You can see I'm pausing, I'm trying to avoid getting bugged on the edge of the carpet. This is also a really weird tile set. I haven't noticed this. It's either the lag or the tile set, or tile set specific, but there are things like if you get stuck on a doorway, you can see there's a little ledge of stone between this room and the next room in the doorway. You can sort of slide around on that and your character will stop attacking. The same can happen on carpets. And all of these mobs seem to be quite mobile. Certainly the snipers are very mobile, and they run around a lot, and that can cause pathing issues as well. So you might see in this video there are times where I attack something and something else randomly seems to die. You know, it's not what I'm attacking, but something else explodes. I don't know if that's my network lag and I was attacking something else, or what really, to be honest. You'll also note that I'm having to pause to heal and so on. This wouldn't be an issue if I had the full-on Vorpal Vampiric weapon. So I died there. I didn't click the heal potion in time. Because if I had the Vampiric Vorpal weapons, I would be able to sort of gib my way through, one-shot my way through the enemies, whilst also being healed. I don't die very many times in this run, which is good, because, you know, it pretty much proves what I wanted to prove, which is you can solo this place. But I do die, and I'm moderately confident that if I actually had the equipment that was being discussed, I wouldn't die. At least, yeah, not as often as I do. So that's one death. I'm actually going to count my deaths as we go through, and I do this voiceover. The other thing is, you'll find lots of situations in this particular tile set where you'll kill something. I don't think it happens there. You'll kill something and the loot falls through the terrain to somewhere else, which is kind of weird. So we'll talk about abilities. The way Mordavius, or whoever created this, has tried to demonstrate that high AC characters can be stopped is through status effects. Why high AC matters is because rangers and fighters can both have dex-based builds. There is a min-maxim, which is focus one stat, as in get one stat as high as you can and derive as much benefit from it as you can. Obviously, if you're using dexterity, that's your armor class, which is the thing you get attacked on most. But if you also do your damage based on dexterity, then you're in a happy place, because the higher you can get one stat, the better. And your itemization can all be about dexterity, and then you're golden. Absolutely golden, because your damage and your defense both come off one thing. So, yeah. So the way around that is cooldowns and attacks which don't target dexterity. So prior to creating this character, I spent some time and went on the Mythweavers wiki, which is not the official wiki, it's really a role-playing and module sort of design and sharing wiki for the Guild of Mythweavers, but also open to anyone else who wants to use it. And I went through all of the abilities in the DM toolset. I added them to the wiki, I added them with semantic markup. I'm not sure, I don't think the official wiki does semantic markup, which is another reason why it wasn't really much use for me when I tried to do this. Which allowed me to search through them, and I found that of the monster powers there are some which, something like 2 which affect strength, 3 which affect constitution, and 5 which affect wisdom, in terms of things you need to save against which will incapacitate you. So I started my character around trying to buff those high. I started with 16 in dex rather than 18, on the grounds that your natural stats are capped at 20 anyway, and it's very points efficient to start with lower stats, because if you try and start with a stat at 17 or 18, you pay a lot of your character creation points for that, whereas when you get your points from levelling, you only pay 1 point per stat regardless. So I started with 16 dex, 16 whiz, and I think 14 con and 12 strength, something like that. So I tried to cover the save bonuses as well as I could. As a fighter you get strength and con saves. Can't remember what rangers get. Rangers might actually get wisdom, which would be another solid reason to become a ranger. I'm actually going to look in my 5e rulebook on the grounds that it might be the same. Rangers get strength and dex saves. Okay, so rangers aren't in a much better position. In fact, they get dex saves. Our high dex build doesn't really need dex saves. I made that decision when I created it. So I picked Wood Elf because that gives you immune to sleep. That's another incapacitant ticked off the list. Wood Elf also gives you +2 to dex, which obviously for a dex-based build is very good. And Wood Elf gives Mask of the Wild, not really sure what that does in this game. Fleet of Foot, not sure what that does in this game. And Search, which is good. So everyone likes having Search. Don't know if it gives Hide, possibly. Maybe that's what Mask of the Wild does. I should probably look, because that would be useful. Anyway, so I created my Wood Elf, and I gave him the background of Charlatan, rather than taking one of the many backgrounds which did, which gave a physical damage increase. I took Charlatan for the +2 save, +2 whiz. So you see here, this is a room where there's a lot of monsters which cast Charm, all in a room, and most of them have heal as well. So I tried to pull them apart, so I'd only have to be making 5 or 6 Charm saves every couple of combat rounds, as opposed to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 Charm saves per combat round, whatever it is. I know the spells are actually on timers. But I failed, I got charmed, I got pulled straight in by, I'm assuming it's the Hunter Sniper with the little white whirly symbol or animation around him. There's not much I can do here, I just got to sit it out. It's part of the double annoyance you get from Charm. Here I wait. So I'll continue talking about the character. So yeah, I tried to get my stats as high as I could for saves. The items he has, they're not perfect. He's got a weak necklace, only one of the stats is relevant. His helmet, he's got a helmet of wisdom to try and mitigate against the many charms. His strength is okay, but as you'll see he gets proned quite a lot, which is pretty annoying. It's not great to get proned a lot. There I'm trying to work out what's happening, because you'll see on the right hand side there's an and I wasn't attacking anyone on the right hand side, I was attacking someone right in front of him. But I couldn't figure it out. I put it down to some sort of weird bug or lag, which is making the whole experience a lot more annoying than it would be normally. And this is quite an annoying module, since it's full of things that charm and delay everything. I'm desperate. You can see I'm dual wielding. I'm desperately hoping to get a crit before I die. I fail. I have to respawn. I didn't set myself the criteria of avoiding death entirely in this. For a start, it's a little too random to be able to hold myself to that standard, with the kind of weird bugs and pathing you get, and with the lag, and as you saw with the weird things where you look like you're attacking someone but you're actually attacking someone else who's not next to you, so how are you attacking them exactly? It's a mystery. But I'm using healing potions to replicate having Vorpal weapons, life draining Vorpal weapons, instead of just the Vorpal weapons I have. Unfortunately, healing potions are on a cooldown, whereas Vorpal weapons drain based on your attack speed, and this character has something like 60% attack speed bonus. So he's not badly geared. He's not as well geared as he could be. I'm not deliberately trying to bug those monsters there. I was trying to split them up, but I wasn't trying to bug them. But because of reasons to do with pathing, they do seem to bug themselves. Got lucky with a Vorpal strike there. Get knocked over. It's sad times. Gonna pop my way out of that. This was quite an expensive run. So, I take on board that hard runs at level 20. They're not particularly hard because the level difference is 2, which is a mere 10% of your level at 20. So, yeah, it's barely a dent. Though having said that, I ran my level 20 cleric and wizard through a hard module, and it took me a long time. And I'm fairly sure even the best wizard would not do this quickly. What you can do as a wizard, because charm as a wizard lasts for as long as the cooldown, or longer, is you could just run into a room, charm something, wait for it to die, run off, wait for your cooldown if you've got lots of cooldown items. Keep doing that. So wizards can do a pretty safe clear, it's just incredibly slow. And it's based around the monsters killing stuff and not you. So, I wouldn't really say it's an interesting clear. Here I'm trying to get rid of stuff, hunt stuff down. Ooh, got lucky with a Vorpal strike. And exploded something nowhere near me for some reason or other, which isn't clear. At some point I might switch back to sword and shield, because the sword I use with the shield has life drain. No, I just randomly dropped dead. So I'm going to pause and go back to that. Was my health getting low? Because sometimes I have observed you just drop dead. So watch the health bar. Watch the health bar. Yeah, sort of 3/4 life there, and dead. No reason. There's nothing in the combat log, I would guess, because I've looked at the combat log in similar situations. Yeah, no, I'm looking in the combat log. Critically wounded, but nothing. He just randomly dropped dead in a big explosion. So not absolutely sure how to explain that death. Maybe there's some sort of unseen, hidden evil force in the dungeon here, conspiring to try to prove that characters with vampiric and Vorpal weapons aren't overpowered. So there I did see why I died. There I died because there is a group of assassins, which somehow I've got the aggro from. It's probably by running too close to one of these walls. So there are a couple of issues with walls, at least on this tile set, which is monsters will aggro you through the walls, and monsters will also range attack you through the walls, which is particularly fun. When I say particularly fun, of course I mean ridiculous. Not much is as boring as being ranged attacked through a wall by a monster you can't see and then dying instantly. So I pop all my buffs there. I've got Commander Shout, I've got Rally, pop both those. They're nice because you can keep them permanently up if you can be bothered, which I can't because I'm kind of lazy in this. I gib that dwarf. I pop Action Surge and I drink a healing potion as I head in. Pop Riposte because these guys do melee and they melee pretty hard. And it's quite nice if you riposte and then get a Vorpal hit on something. So I can't remember those monsters that randomly died. So not me when I randomly died to nothing, but the monsters when they randomly died to nothing. Perhaps I've got riposte up at the time, and perhaps riposte fires off, and I Vorpal strike them. Though even though they're at range, seems a bit unlikely. But I'll watch for it. Yeah, I'll watch for it, and I'll wind back. Chugga 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 chugga. Got the same. So far my favourite class has definitely been the Paladin for the angelic wings buff, which looks fantastic. It makes you very fast. It's a really nice class flavour thing to have. Fighter, not so much flavour if I'm honest. You'll see that I've virtually never... In fact, I don't think I used Whirlwind in this entire run. I took Whirlwind on the grounds, same grounds I took Cleave, hoping that they might be used to proc optimistic Vorpals. So far, I'm not sure about Cleave, and I haven't really bothered to use Whirlwind. So here, pulling stuff out, lots of stuff in that room has Charm. But I don't think the Hunter Recruit does, so I'm trying to get to the Hunter Archer. We'll see. Oh, but I launch the killing Vorpal strike anyway. Nice. So what this character really needs to make him better is the Vampiric Vorpal weapons instead of the just Vampiric weapons he has. And a necklace that with crit range on it would be nice instead of necrotic resistance. You could stand to have more action surge. So the armor he's using doesn't have a dex penalty because his dex is very high, but he could definitely stand to find better armor with more of an armor class bonus. His armor class is like 26, maybe 28 when he's dual wielding, and when he's got a shield it's 32 or 3 or something. I seem to remember fully buffed, popping Bulwark, I can get him to armor class in the 50s. So Charm goes off there, not much I can do. You can see there's a buggy mob. A buggy mob, as in a mob is bugging. Bron is bugging in the doors. Not quite sure why. Here I'm trying to work out what has charmed me, because there's no obvious visual animation to indicate the charm. And I thought on the other mobs there was. Maybe that was a different buff. Usually your character ends up facing the thing that you've charmed, so there it could be the mage, or it could be almost anything in that cone that he's facing. Trust me, by this stage I was sort of cursing the charm spell and the extra time it took. I'd rather it lasted half as long, even though it's letting me get all my cooldowns back. Because this is a nasty fight, I'm just checking through the inventory there, making sure I have some potions. I have many potions. I'm still not in the habit of using potions as often as I should be, but in this module that's because I'm worried I'll just get charmed and all the benefit will be lost, and I'll just have wasted the opportunity cost benefit. There, I'm like, please kill the mage before I have to switch back to normal weapons. There's so much healing, everything healed. Hunter archers heal. Mages heal. Actually, mages don't heal, but hunter archers definitely do. And so on. I'm just really hoping to Vorpal kill something. And chugging down those healing potions that I wouldn't have to chug if I had Vampiric Vorpal weapons. By this time I'm realising there's a lot in that room. A lot of charm risk. A lot of delay. So I decide to pull the mobs right back out of the room and just try and kill things that come out after me. Oh, getting pretty low. Gotta pop a potion. yeah, having to choose between healing yourself or having a chance at one-shotting enemies. It's a rough choice to make, particularly in this situation where there's lots of enemies. You can't quite heal as fast as you're taking damage, even with your healing weapon. You really just need to gib some, particularly the ones with heal. You just need them out of the way, basically. So, again, more heal potions being drunk. Wailing away on Bronn with very little effect because he's getting a lot of heals. It's not the most efficient thing, but this is... when I get him down, I'm in a pretty safe position, essentially, because the incoming damage is weak. La da da, check it out, check it out. Hitty so hardy. Yeah. So you see the character name is Nothing is Given. Clearly as a wood elf, he can't have a very emo background, but I'm sure to become an adventurer there must be something slightly emotive in his past. Some reason he's going out here risking his life against a dungeon full of people hoping to avoid the nerf bat, just to prove a point. Well, yeah, he's here because he's in between missions. Next he's going to smack down on Orcus. He's just come out of Asmodeus' realm and Vorpal Asmodeus to death with his many action surges. He's wondering why these super tough level adjusted monsters have so little cash. Life is hard like that. Gilrael, it should be noted, is one of the people who has vociferously and honourably, I have to say, suggested that there is a little that is imbalanced in the itemization and build options for these classes. Good on you, Gilrael, I agree with you, and having played through this module, given a lot of it is based on gimmick, I still agree. I still think that auto attackers are overpowered, and I'm moderately to extremely convinced that when I get hold of Vorpal Vampiric weapons on this character, this module will be not a cakewalk because there's charms. There are whole packs of mobs which will charm you and then resurrect the stuff you've just killed while you're charmed, so you have to kill it all over again. So it'll always be frustrating as a single character, but it's not undoable. I'm not having to respawn repeatedly and draw stuff back to the respawn point and hope for a lucky Vorpal crit like that. I'm not doing that kind of AI exploitation. The most I'm doing is trying to minimise my charm exposure. Oh, I found the trap with my face. Well, yeah, so back to Nothing is Given's background. Yeah, I think maybe he, even though he's an elf from Everesca, he had a hard upbringing. I see spasms out on the steps there, and I have to move him just to make sure he attacks. He had a hard upbringing in the lands of Everesca. Possibly his family were killed when the big Faerun invasion happened at the end of 3.5, just before the Netherese came. There was a big invasion of Everesca. Yeah, I just found a potion I didn't want there. But yeah, also Nothing is Given. He gives no cares for the... Cares is the polite way of saying it. He has no care for the enemies he will encounter, for eventually he will Vampiric Vorpal his way through them. I realise that I haven't actually got search on my hotkey bar at this point, and I know this corridor is full of traps, so perhaps cheaply, rather than spend even more healing potions, I decide to remove the traps as I go. Hooray, a trap! Free XP. Alright, we're coming to a room that went reasonably well. Sorry, an encounter that went reasonably well this time. In the past, the first time I played through this, it was a nightmare encounter. Absolutely shocking. It's 9 mobs, all of which have charm, all of which have a lot of health, all of which have weird movement E abilities and range attacks. 9 mobs. And the big trouble, to be honest, it's not the charm, it's the Misty Step, which means they cluster on each other and end up doing this weird slide thing where you can't attack them. So yeah, I'll try and aggro to pull a few of them out. I say 9 mobs, there's actually 10 because there's a cleric stuck at the back there. I tried to split them up, but I failed the charm save. So another minute of my life, and indeed your life, is wasted as we sit by these mobs. So you see Dex 28 there, plus 9 to armor class. He's wearing some sort of non-dex capping armor, which gives 6 extra armor class, so his armor class is 15 higher than you'd expect, and I think he has... In fact, he must have an item which gives him plus 3 armor class. See there, I'm sort of gesturing around. When I thought I was recording a voiceover, what I was saying is, on both sides of this room there are a bunch more mobs, all of which have charm. So I will not be doing the whole room by just rushing in. I don't want to be charmed. There's lots of snipers. Right. There's me trying to drag stuff. You see how all the monsters there clustered together. Another charm, hooray, but I made my save. Trying to just draw this guy out, get him away from the rest, because I don't want him misty stepping back into them or running away. Got lucky with my my Vorpal strike there. Getting into defensive mode, whipping out the shield because I'm expecting to take a lot of daggers. That's if I'm lucky. If I'm unlucky, I'll take 8 charms. Buffing. Oh, they've noticed me. Popping Bulwark on the grounds that maybe they're going to cast Charm, but instead they will miss, and my Bulwark is kind of wasted. So here I'm really lucky because I get a crit off really quickly. So that's one potential source of charms gone, and another very quickly. Now this guy dies slow, but that's okay because it doesn't die too slow. So at this stage I've taken out 4 of the 9 super rogue charm monsters. I'm trying to remember if I've already mentioned why I think charm isn't a particularly good way of demonstrating the module creator's intent as well, because the funny thing about charm is it'll probably, often as not, hit your super buffed fighter or ranger with their Vorpal weapons rather than the cleric. So while the cleric can, in theory, purge it with restoration, I believe, not tried it, chances are your super buffed, super overpowered auto attack character will run over and just destroy your non-overpowered characters. Again, buffing, really don't like these things. Just running in, hoping to not get charmed before I kill at least one thing. Popping action surge to increase my chance of Vorpal striking. You'll see all the healing going in, the weird sliding because there's monsters teleporting around, all of the heals they're doing. Now, one good thing about this, or one fortunate thing, is because the monsters all have lots of abilities, or seem to have lots, maybe they don't, but these guys have charm, heal, misty step, I don't know if others have more, they don't constantly cast the same ability. So because they've got heal, they're not casting charm, because they're casting heal instead. Here I'm trying to decide how I'm going to deal with this room, because I do not want to fight the 14 or so charm capable creatures all at once. So not only do the things on both sides cast charm, also at least 2 of the 4 boss type monsters cast charm as well. So I'm just trying to get in there and drag some monsters out. It's like a game of chicken, because I really don't want the side monsters. Yep, out I go. I'm trying to pull whatever I get back. It looks like I've got Gilrail, who is the pro-nerf chap. Good on you, Gilrail. I apologise for what's about to happen. And an ooze, and I Vorpal crit Gilrail. Mission completed. I did then go on to kill all of the rest of that room, but all I got was some gold, and it's not really worth the effort of showing you. So thank you. And that concludes the playthrough, where I single-handedly defeat the anti-vampire module with a character, with auto attacks, and Vorpal and Vampiric weapons, though not both at the same time, sadly, because that would have been even quicker.